surprised at how tall you are. He's very tall.
Well, if you only see somebody on TV, you just see their, in my case, giant head. So
it
hides how tall I am.
Yeah.
That's right.
We are the table of big heads here.
So this is a show of MAGA Republicans, right? That's what my media team told me? Okay, good.
Well,
what can you say to voters who trusted you to lower costs on day one, and will they be satisfied by November?
Well, I think that's ultimately up to the voters, right? I think voters have every right to expect as much as possible out of their elected representatives. We certainly know that we were elected on a number of mandates. One was to close the border, which I think we've done successfully.
Mandates. 1.4%, you camera spiking weirdo. Look at him. Dude, I got the freeze game. JD, we fucking see you. You didn't have a mandate there, buddy. And you ran on no new wars, buddy. Huh? Oh, look at that, dude. Dude, who's doing his eyeliner, bro? Yo, JD. Yo, boss, what is going on, dude? Dude, what the f? Your kid's doing your eyeliner now with a crayon? Dude, you got some plastic surgery, bro. Your head is round. It looks like a beet with a Lego piece of hair on the top. What the f is going on, bro? You have a little surgery, right? Huh? 𝗙់doing a little scalpel work? You're looking right at us. We're watching you. All right, you fucking piece of shit. All right, fuck you. Bye-bye.
Mr. Vice President, according to a new report from the New York Times, you were the leading voice behind the scenes to release the Epstein files, and we applaud you for that. And you warned top officials, including top DOJ officials, at strategy meetings taking place inside the Situation Room. We understand that there are tapes of those meetings, that this was a huge problem for the base. The report says you even floated having Tucker Carlson interview Ghislaine Maxwell to clear the president's name, but you were rebuffed by your people. Why?
Well, I'd say, first of all, don't believe everything that you read in any newspaper, whether it's a right-leaning paper or a left-leaning paper, because as you guys know, well, there are things that are true, things that are false, and things that are totally missing context. Well, here's what I'll say. So, number one, I am, frankly, kind of a conspiracy theory on the Epstein stuff. And that story says that that's one of the things that's true, is that some people called me a conspiracy theory on the Epstein stuff.
Called you a conspiracy
and I love Susie, but absolutely, she thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist on the Epstein stuff, because I think that it's crazy that you had this guy who is clearly a sex predator who is hanging out with a lot of very wealthy and powerful people. Like, that really bothered me. I don't know what's there, of course. Nobody knows exactly what happened unless you were there, but that really bothered me, and I wanted to have full transparency. What I disagree with is the idea that the White House wasn't committed to full transparency. We have to remember, like, I was inside the room when some of these decisions were made.
Dude, they're still hiding. There was a law passed that Trump has primaried everybody who passed that law. His personal lawyer is in charge of this shit. They've run out everybody that was involved in the release of these files, has been run out of government, fired, lost their jobs. And they're still withholding most of the files, okay? They release like a small percentage of it. They're breaking the law every fucking day, bro. So, like, give me a fucking break. The administration has clearly punished every single person involved in the release of these files, has punished them by taking their job, getting them out of government, withholding endorsements, primarying them, you know, everything. Every single thing, man.
The Epstein Files Transparency Act, the one that the president signed, the one that led to all these files that we're seeing, the emails. By the way, again, sorry, do I have to defend my boss? I know you guys don't always appreciate this, but, you know, one of the things you see in the Epstein emails is that Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump. And that,
dude, that's like, he hated him in 2016. But they were best friends in the 90s, okay? They were still friends in the early 2000s.
Donald Trump literally reported Jeffrey Epstein to the police. Okay, that's one of the things that came out of these files.
They were best friends for about a decade. And remember, he signed that Transparency Act under duress when some Republican women, congresswomen like Lauren Boebert, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, did not give in to his pressure of not signing. He brought Lauren Boebert into the Situation Room to pressure her into caving on not voting for that bill.
So let me respond to that. So
again, He did not report Jeffrey Epstein. I repeat, Trump did not report Jeffrey Epstein. When Trump found out Epstein was getting arrested, Trump called the cops and said, hey, oh, good job, guys. I've heard he's a really bad dude. Trump basically was making a courtesy call, I think, fishing to find out if he was mentioned. Did they want to talk to him? Trump made an ass covering, like, ooh, I hear he's a real bad guy kind of call. Okay, Trump did not turn this guy in. Trump was not an informant, like Grinder Mike Johnson said, in no way, shape, or form. And good for Anna, dude. Let's go. Anna kicking some ass. He is pissing me off, dude. He is such a fucking liar, bro. All right, here we go. Good job, Anna. Good job.
True.
Let me respond to that. So number one is, yes, Donald Trump, and he said this, he knew Jeffrey Epstein back in the 1980s. He also threw Jeffrey Epstein out of his club when he found out he was a creep and reported him to the police. That's something that the media often misses when it reports the story. They tell the fact that they knew each other in the 80s, which the president himself admits. They ignore the fact that he narked on him to the police and led ultimately to Jeffrey Epstein's downfall.
See, again, he's lying there. And he keeps saying the 80s. No, they were friends in the 90s and right into the early 2000s. And he did not narc on him and lead to his downfall. Vance, you fucking liar.
To that point, Anna, you know the Republican Party. Well, it's one of the things that led to law enforcement investigation. But on the point that you made,
it was allegedly over a real estate deal that they got into a fight over.
But the email says actually
they didn't just know each other. Let's just be truthful and transparent here. They didn't just know each other.
He's in a lot of
They were
pictures.
incredibly close friends.
he reported him to the police. That's what I'm saying. That is objective. That is objectively true. But Anna,
He did not report him to the police. You fucking liar, JD. Dude, I am so mad.
Okay,
but Anna made another point that I think Whoopi, if I may, because Anna made a very important point. This question about did Donald Trump release these files only under duress from Republicans? And Anna, you know the Republican Party probably better than I do. The idea that Donald Trump runs around afraid of Republican congressmen as opposed to the other way around is kind of crazy.
What was a bipartisan, it was Republicans and Democrats.
But because the Republicans control the House and the Senate, particularly the Senate, you need the Republican sign-off.
So the thing is why did they need to pass a law to get them released? That tells you everything. Donald Trump runs the fucking government. It's his DOJ. The fact that Congress needed to pass a law and put it on the president's desk tells you everything. There was no reason for Congress to have 434 guys vote yes and Clay Higgins vote no. They didn't need to pass a law, okay? That tells you everything, that it was duress.
What the president did is, look, I will say this. Again, I was in there in the meetings. He was very frustrated that the Democrats were making this about him when he's like, look, I threw the guy out of my club. I am the guy who reported him to the police, or one of the people who reported him to the police. The president was frustrated about that, absolutely. But he eventually came to say, you know what? Let's just get everything out there. Let's have this out in the public. And he actually called the senators. I was there. He called the senators and said, you know what? Pass this bill, I'll sign it, and that was it.
Well, then let me follow up briefly. Let me follow up briefly.
Yes.
It sounds like you believed that there would be men in the files who would be held accountable, rightfully so. And the American people are with you on this. Why haven't we seen the release of over 2.5 million additional Epstein file documents? It seems like you are someone that is on the right side of history on this.
So we have released, I think it's 6 million files or 6 million pages of documents. My understanding is the 2.5 million, Sonny. I'm going to check on this to make sure, but my understanding is that a lot of those are duplicates of things that have already been released.
So we're not
holding anything back. Some of those things are like the courts have to order you to release them. So that was one thing that we confronted. You talk about these situation room meetings is, you know, there was a big bunch of files that existed, I think, in the Southern District of New York, or maybe it was some other jurisdiction. But we were like, we want to release these files, but you need the court approval in order to release the files. Sometimes
no, that was only for grand jury transcripts. Dude, he is lying through his teeth on this. My God, that the only court approval they needed was releasing grand jury transcripts, which weren't even, nobody cared about those getting released. They were not essential. Grand jury transcripts are like one or two witnesses giving a few pieces of information. He is just lying. I mean, Trump and Epstein were best friends all through the 90s into the early 2000s and until the real estate deal in like 2003 or whatever. Two, dude, after Virginia Giuffre got whisked out of the club and trafficked and Trump knew it, they were still sending girls from Mar-a-Lago to do massages at home for Epstein. He never kicked him out of the club. He never reported him to police. Okay, he was not friends with him in the 80s. He was friends with him in the 90s and the early 2000s. He did not release the files, which is why they had to pass a law. They're still breaking the law and hiding shit, and he has systematically fired or ruined the career of every single person that has gone against him on this, and his personal attorney is covering this shit up for him as the acting head of the DOJ. Okay, this is all complete and utter bullshit. Okay, bullshit.
We would apply to release the files and the courts would say no. So those particular documents, I would need to actually know exactly what you're talking about.
3.5 million documents were released, and my understanding is 2.5 million have not been released.
Those may have been the ones that are under court. So I don't know what the documents you're talking about, but I'm telling you,
Let me go to break.
Sure.
Let me go to break.
Give me a fucking break, bro. Oh, dude, I man, this guy, this Yale-educated fucking twit from the suburbs of Ohio acting like me, ma. Oh, me, ma. Yo, JD, political punk here. Yo, you want to wrestle? Dude, I want to wrestle. I think we should set up some kind of UFC. You, me, cage match, right? Until one of us is unconscious, buddy. I think it would be a ticket seller. I'm in. You name the date, all right? You get back to me, all right? Fuck you, buddy. You get your hand out of Erica Kirk's panties, you fucking weirdo. All right, fuck off. Bye-bye. Dude, oh, I'm sorry, dude. I get irate with this shit, boss. I do. I get irate looking at this guy. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. You like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.